Hello and welcome to the channel, or welcome back if you've been following along. Today is day 85 of a 180-day challenge, and I'm finally feeling like I am back on track. I've been derailed quite a bit over the course of the last couple of weeks, and that's actually going to kind of segue into what I wanted to talk about today, which is something I've never even really thought about before. But I watched a YouTube video this morning by a guy named Scott Carney, who's had some fantastic insightful videos on different things in like the health and wellness world, about kind of the negative side of things that I never really have thought about previously. And especially when it comes to like journaling, meditation, psychedelics, spiritual practices, I have never, especially like meditation, I've never really considered the other side of the coin. But there has to be another side of the coin. Everything can't be all good. It's impossible. And I was thinking about this specifically with the breathwork practice that I've been doing and the ways in which it's actually been maladaptive towards my life. And I also realized yesterday, after I recorded my day 81 through 84 video, where I talked about the really esoteric stories I've kind of been telling myself about the spirit world and things like that, in order to kind of create a framework helps me gain benefit from deep, meditation. But anyways, after I recorded that video, went and did a breath work and sauna session, and my mind was really chaotic. This practice that I've been doing, where you breathe off all the CO2, I believe is what you're doing. It's kind of like a and then do breath holds. My mind was chaos, whereas normally in the last couple of weeks, it's been the exact opposite. It's completely shut my mind off, and I realized that basically I was overtraining, doing what I always do when I find something that I enjoy or have benefits. I always think more is better, and I realized, probably halfway through the session, that the message I was getting is, no, you're overdoing this, you're doing it, you're pushing the limits kind of beyond the comfort level, rather than improving incrementally each day by 1 to 5% or whatever it is, 0.002%, a tiny amount per day. You're pushing 10, 20%, 30% past your boundary, and it's actually causing issues, which I've never listened to that warning sign. That's always been my inner bitch that needed to be killed or silenced. And I'm realizing that doesn't actually create, you can push forward and progress that way. But then when you get to the plateaus, when I get to the plateaus, I find it very hard to push onwards. And so then further than that, that kind of set the tone of my thinking, to where I already was noticing a negative side effect from something that was heavily positive before. And then that that was my kind of thinking already. And then I listened to that video, that YouTube video this morning, about how meditation can be bad for you, basically the dark side of meditation, which I'd never thought about before, but realized that I was experiencing some of those side effects. And I wouldn't necessarily, say it's the dark side, but it is maladaptive, like very maladaptive. We're taking an ancient practice, that people kind of designed in, a completely different world, and trying to deploy it in a modern world where, it can have consequences. And these consequences could be interpreted as good or bad. For me, I've been doing these really deep, intense breathwork practices and meditation practices, and they've made it really, really hard for me to do my job, which is selling health insurance. They've made it incredibly incredibly difficult because I'm basically steeping myself in, my purpose and my truth and what I want to be doing every day, and it sits in stark contrast with my job. And that the more, that creates this like opposition inside me that makes it more and more difficult to do the thing that I need to do at this moment to support myself and my family. I mean, it makes it incredibly, incredibly hard. And there is good and bad in that. The good is, I'm aligning more with who I think I was born to be and what I want to do in this world. But the bad side of that is it's painful. It's really, really painful to do the thing that I have to do right now. And I'm probably doing it not as good as I could otherwise. And it just brings up this, kind of weird conversation where, really what is right in this context? The relentless pursuit of your true self, or the temporarily masking of your true self so that you can exist inside the construct that society has set up for you or that you're at right now. And for me, the answer is slow down. That's the answer that I'm kind of giving myself, is rather than do what I've always done and push super hard for really rapid results and change. It's no, maybe you're, pushing too hard into this territory because it's creating such oppositional forces. Maybe you need to go a little bit slower so you can create incremental change that doesn't simultaneously create a bunch of pain. And this is just my way of, a completely new way of looking at it, because I've basically failed up until this point hundreds of times in my life to, get on a productive, healthy path and trajectory and stay on it over a super prolonged period of time, 1, 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years, a decade, without derailing completely and going in a different direction. So I'm trying to find a way to hop onto something and have it be sustainable for me. And I think that it's honestly just not going, full all out on anything, and kind of taking a more chill, incremental approach to things, which is not sexy. It's not It's not what anyone talks about doing. It's not the people we follow. All the people we follow, quit their job and decide to run 50 marathons back to back, or it's always the extremes that we're kind of looking to as examples, or the complete transformation. That's such a sexy thing to put out there, and it's been in all the marketing forever. There's this new trend or weight program or diet, and someone hops onto it, and in 30 days they're transformed, or in 60 days they're transformed. But the dark side of that is, in 120 days they're normally back to how they were before, because it wasn't sustainable. It was too drastic of a change to be sustained, and it's just really, really difficult. And that's where I think I'm realizing that I've gone wrong in the past, and I think I'm going wrong on that right now with the intensity and the fervor in which I've been pursuing breath work and meditation, which is, hard for me to say, because that's what I do. I find things that I really enjoy and, go at them with 100% intensity. I do make really quick progress, but in the past, it just hasn't been able to be maintained with consistency. So that's what I'm doing over the course of, today. I'm just reminding myself that you need to rest, take a break, and rather than, stepping away from breath work completely, you just need to do some chill stuff. You don't need to breathe to a point of like interdimensional travel where you're having these really, really intense, crazy experiences. Even though I love the pursuit of those things, it needs to, you need to contrast. I shouldn't say you do whatever the hell you want, but I need to contrast, pushing the limit of things with, intense rest periods. So rather than, not doing breath work and stuff like that, I'm just going to do the exact opposite. Rather than do these really intense, difficult breath work sessions, I'm going to do like relaxation and rejuvenation and healing and these really, just calming, kind of high oxygen, or I don't know which it would be, but really calming, rather than, basically hyperventilating until you're in a completely different state. Just relax, allow the body to rejuvenate, chill, and yeah, go on. It's awesome. I love making these videos because I have to think about the context and idea and, kind of really reflect on what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and it seriously helps. It really, really helps me take a look at why and what I'm doing when I have to explain it to other people. I highly recommend, even if you aren't ever going to post the videos to YouTube, imagine that you are and sit down and explain to an imaginary group of people or an audience what you're doing, why, and justify it and explain it, and it just becomes a lot more clear. So I super appreciate you, being who I bounce my ideas off of, whoever you are on the other side of that camera. I wish you all the best. Thank you for being here. Lots of love. I hope that, today is the day that you find a little extra motivation to start whatever journey you want to go down, whether it's health, fitness, meditation, whatever it is. If you're anything like me, type A personality who pursues things, really intensely right out of the gate, maybe, take a step back and think about, incremental improvement rather than, like I've mentioned, I've mentioned in the past that I was creating like basically a panic reaction when it came to breath hold training for freediving, because I was pushing so far beyond my limits rather than, just getting to where it was really uncomfortable and I had an intense urge to breathe and pushing, 10, 15 seconds past that. I was getting to that point of, basically complete panic, and then pushing a minute and 10, a minute 30 past that point. And it was having a negative side effect where rather than dropping into another layer of relaxation and training myself to relax through it, I was trying to force myself into something, and was having a really negative consequence on my breath holding as a whole. And I've actually regressed over the course of kind of the last year in my breath holds because I was doing it in the wrong order. Anyways, yep. Hope this finds you well. Lots of love. Goodbye. I will actually see you tomorrow because I am, feeling much better and back on a more consistent path, I guess. I don't know if that makes any sense. But anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow.